welcome everybody to this next week of Hackmaster. Uh, we were just discussing the state of Puerto Rico, so that's
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's a thing.
yeah.
Just make lessons cry, why don't you?
Yeah.
So last time we had the very end of the session, we had a large time of downtime in which everyone did a decent amount of healing. So Lunella, your character has we've been handling your healing for you. So your character, so Elka should be less injured.
Thank you.
But it looks like, I mean, you did take a 15-point wound in the very beginning. So it looks like it's down to only a 7-point wound. So.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Was there anything else? The last time you guys had gotten together, you had put these 4 little yellow marks that you believe might be the location of 2 other ancient sites. Of burial locations, and so correct me if I'm wrong, but your last train of thought was either to go down to Beshan and then kind of trek up around these mountains and go to this site, or to go down to Byjoff. And I think Griffin was the one that mentioned, well, if we go down to Byjoff, which looks like it's an easier trip, then we might even be able to eliminate the other yellow dot if they're all some sort of square or other nice shape.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Right, because there's 2 possible arrangements here, and if it's not in Breihoff, then we know it's the northern ones.
Yep.
And if it is, then we know it's probably in the middle of the mountains. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that could be an interesting or rather difficult trek, depending on how how the weather holds up there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but before we start in this large period of downtime, in the last week of in the last week of this kind of downtime that you guys have set aside, where some of you have work, some of you guys have started working, you've been hunting, you've been gathering, been resting these large wounds. Eric took up carpentry and started working on, he started working on carving various houses. But in that last week, after a rather pleasant day of staying busy, working, resting, I have a question for Karamikos. Do you sleep with your mask on?
Of course.
Okay.
You remember Smoking the Bandit? This hat comes off for nobody.
Right. So it's in the very middle of the night, Karamikos, and you're awoken by a slight breeze that seems to caress your face.
Ugh.
I mean, that's a concern because, well, we've already established that this mask isn't airtight.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say something about the house being airtight. You're like, oh god. First thing.
It's a little drafty here. We never actually patched it up. There's no roof still. It's fine.
Yeah, the roof is leaking. That is something you've had to work on. I'm taking your real life struggles and trying to put them into the game. That way you can never escape them. So you feel this slight caress on your face, and it wakes you up from your sleep.
Because I am that light of a sleeper.
It does.
What is
wakes
that,
you
a
up.
feather? God damn it, another night's sleep ruined.
So you awake, and the first thing you notice is the room is quiet. There's no other sounds aside from the normal sounds of your compatriots sleeping, maybe a little bit of snoring from Eric from that one time you punched him in the nose. There's a few tossing and turning, but nothing unusual for the middle of the night to have woken you up. And then you see across the room someone left a candle on.
My first concern would be, how the hell do I see that?
You feel the heat.
No, you see it. And enough so that you can make out the wall behind it in the wood, the different grains, and where clearly they've been using different, completely different trees to craft together the wall of the house. And that's what you see.
All right, well,
What do you?
first thing to do, I guess, would be to put out that light.
Yeah, you get up to go put out the light, and you make it maybe halfway across the room, and there's a stronger gust of wind, but with that wind, there seems to be as the wind extinguishes the candle and just snuffs it out, there seems to be a sort of darker darkness that kind of fills the void where that light was, and it starts moving towards you, this kind of ever expanding cloud of darkness. And you're used to darkness in your day by day travels, but you can't see anything, you can't hear anything inside of this darkness. You can't, the wall behind that you're used to hearing an echolocation, it's just as if it's gone.
All right, so it's a void.
It's a void.
Is the candle still there?
The candle has disappeared inside this void.
All right. Do I still feel the floor beneath me?
You do.
Okay, well, then I'm going to get down on my knees.
Okay.
Mentally prepare myself, as either this is going to wake me up, or it's not. As I clasp my hands as such, and rip out my own eye.
All right. So you pull out your own eye, and instead of you feel a moment of pain, but then you feel almost warmth and pleasure coming from this darkness as it starts to envelop you. And you hear in a very familiar voice that sounds like your old friend Glantree. It says, "Hello, little one."
Glentree, what are you doing here?
I had a most unusual sensation. It is strange, for it seems as if I have been given sight.
You could always see Glentree. What are you talking about?
Yes, but there has always been spots where my vision does not quite reach. I I've seen a tomb of ancient allies to my enemies, and I thank you for that.
Anything I could do to help, Glentree? You know you are my best friend.
Ah, well, then continue on. I wish to see more. I wish you to take what is theirs and claim it for us. Claim it for those who care for you, and sight shall be returned not just to me, but to you as well.
Why do I want this?
It is the true gift, the return of true sight.
Very well, Galantry. You have never steered me wrong in the past. This sounds wrong, but I know that you have my... You have my true well-being at heart.
But you should be warned. Mine are not the only eyes that have turned towards you. Be careful.
Very well. By the way, where have you been?
Grocery shopping.
Oh yes, you said you were going for smokes and you never came back.
Speaking of which, I seem to have used my last cigarette. I'll be right back.
I'll be here.
And the dream ends.
Gotta get more smokes.
And yeah, he's got to go get some more smokes and return in another several years. And with that, your dream seems to end, and you wake up, you know, in the next morning, and your mask is still on your face, and no, the candle doesn't even look like it was burning last night when you wake up.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't have lit it.
Yeah. So we can then fast forward a few more days, and we've gone through all 30 days. You guys are all you've rested for a significant amount of time. Do you need more rest? Are you ready to journey out? How are people looking?
I know for sure I'm fully healed. And I think who is actually the most injured? I think
Probably me.
Eric maybe was, and followed by,
Yeah.
of course, our halfling Finn.
I wouldn't mind
yeah,
getting
Finn.
34 HP, but
Finn is
So
still
that's what, a year?
significantly hurt.
I'm 27 right now, so.
That makes two of us.
Okay.
Looking at you,
Bullshit.
Dennis.
I'm telling. I want to see it. I want to see it. That's all I want to
Well,
say.
you were there.
I know. I want to see it. I was there. We can do this off stream. We don't have to do this on stream.
I just want to throw out there, since I've taken the moment to sideline this, 35 is what, elderly for a half-orc?
That's right.
Yeah.
No. It's middle aged,
I'm pretty sure I am middle-aged right now,
which is 35.
which is 27.
Mm-mm.
Future's now, old man.
I don't think so. I would remember.
Oh, now you're impugning my honor. Outside, Dennis. We're going
I'm not-
outside.
I want to see the tape.
You're
that's
on the
all.
third
Just-
story, right? Outside, Dennis.
All right.
Wait, are you guys concerned about the aging effects and when those happen?
No,
No.
we're just having a debate about how old I am.
Yeah.
Wait,
Because he says he's
person,
27.
or-
No, in game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
So his-
no. The age he's saying that I am is closer to my actual age. The age that I am is not what he's saying.
No, I'm
Falco's
saying
slightly
half-orc?
injured.
A half-orc is middle-aged at 30.
Oh, well, then I'm less than middle-aged.
you're not. I'm telling you, go back to the tape. You're 35.
Go back to the tape.
That's old
Rewatch.
school. I can't wait. I can't rewatch. It's not up. If I could, I would.
Let me go back through all my archive footage to see. Let's see. Hackmaster version 2.5-1, Piss on It, is the title of the video I have up now.
We don't have to do this now.
Oh, I don't know. It
Anyway.
seems like we are.
No, I don't want to do this now. I don't want to hold up the stream and everything. I want to keep going.
Keep rolling it. Yeah, keep rolling it. I'll
Yeah,
find
we
it.
don't have to.
So Eric, how injured were you
Okay.
as well?
Yeah, so
'Cause I think
about
you're the only one
So-
with outstanding injuries.
Yeah. So
as
I
well
am.
as Elka.
I
Unless Elka
still.
healed?
I didn't have it.
I'm like 27 out of 35.
Yeah, I'm
And you
20
were running the healing for that, right, Eli?
Yes, I was.
So that's
Okay.
how far I've gotten. Okay.
I'm 23 out of 40. So
Okay.
yeah.
Could
but
be better.
I don't care. We can go to. Let's go to Byjoff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
let's
gonna be a
just do it.
2-day walk anyway, I think. Or maybe about 2 days. I was like measuring out a little bit earlier. Just
Yeah,
like
it was
going down the
a
road.
yeah, it was a 2-day walk to Pfaffen, or about a day and a half. And
Right,
so
it's
to
about that
Bajov,
same, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably 2.5 days.
yeah, I would say 2.5 days
I
sounds
think
about
something
right.
happened to my sheet.
Uh-oh. What happened to your sheet?
I'm at 30 out of 32 hit points, but my wounds have disappeared.
Spooky.
Well, I mean, the problem there being that I can't heal those last 2 wounds because they're not on my sheet.
I think I fixed it. I think it was just
Right.
like I think it can sometimes bug out if the wound is deleted instead of if it's like removed down to 0 and then deleted. So
Well, I
I
didn't
think that
remove
can.
it though. I still had wounds to heal. I mean, like 2 days worth, but I still had wounds to heal.
I have no idea.
So I have a question about my carpentry skill.
Yeah.
How long would it take me to make the handle for the axe?
How long would it take you to make?
The handle for the axe head. Remember how I found that axe head in the tomb?
Yeah.
And I have that because that's what I want to do the carpentry for, to learn how to. I didn't roll for that either, but we can do that off.
I think it was suggested last time, just pop the head off one of the axes you already have and just put that on.
I didn't want to do that.
Huh,
Yeah, I
I'm
want
trying to
that.
look up. I have no idea. How long does anyone have any idea how long it takes to carve a handle of an axe?
Well,
Well,
I know
maybe.
I tried to figure out how long it takes to cut down a tree and how much that's worth in another game. I'd probably say like a handle would probably just be a day job. At
Yeah,
worst,
I would say.
right?
Yeah, I'd say it'd probably take a day or two, depending on your skill. Um,
And I have to
how
roll for
high
that
is your
too.
skill?
I didn't roll for it yet.
Yeah, we can say it'll take a day or two, and you have enough time over these 30 days to fuck up a lot, so
Yeah.
you can really just take that chance until you get it right.
Okay.
So,
All right. That's it.
all right. So you've got that handle made for that axe. Everyone's somewhat healed, but it sounds like they're ready to get on the road and start trekking.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Or at least I am.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Don't forget to bring food.
Yeah, make sure everyone has food. Does everyone have rations for the trip?
Yeah, I'm good.
I have to buy. I'm sure that I spent all the
All right.
money I had. So, how much is? Let me look with rations now. Oh, now I got the accent.
If you're just gonna go for normal rations that you have to cook, it's 5 copper, and they will weigh 50 pounds for a week's supply.
Ooh, okay. 5 copper per day, or just the whole thing?
For a week, 5 copper for a
week.
week, and then I think the other one is 5 silver for a week,
For a week
but
as
then it
well,
only
but
weighs
it's half
20
its
pounds.
cost.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the 5 silver.
Okay. That's okay. We have our halfling mule to carry everything for us.
Because she's so strong. She's got the highest strength of the party.
Yeah.
So you guys pick up some rations and begin the trek back to Pfaffen, and then off to Bajov. This time the trip from Terran to Pfaffen is rather uneventful. You don't get ambushed along the entire trek, and you see one or two folks kind of traveling in the opposite direction. You see someone with a cart full of what looks like goods traveling to Terran, but aside from that, it's rather uneventful. So mark off one day of healing. I'll mark it off for Finn since she's not here. Boop. And it's about halfway through the day by the time that you are nearing Foffen. Would you guys like to stop and do anything in Foffen, or are you guys just moving through?
We're probably moving through. I remember
Yeah, I think
last
so.
time we kind of left a bad impression.
Okay, well that lends me to ask another question. Would you like to move through it, or would you like to try to move around Foffen?
I think we got to move around.
Of course, I don't know that we actually have two criminals with us, so I'm just like, yeah, we'll just walk through. They're not going to stop us, but they won't want us to stay.
Well, I mean, you were in there during the whole showdown with the uh, Lord
Right,
Rythok's
and if they
advisor.
wanted us killed for
So-
that, they would have done it right then.
But now that we came back, they might want to kill us. So I think we should go around.
I forgot about that.
All right, I'll shrug my shoulders. It's okay, we'll go around.
You can go through and meet us on the other side if you want.
It doesn't matter. I may as well walk together.
All right,
So
so
right.
you guys try to you avoid Foffen, and it takes maybe a little bit longer, but you circle around through the woods and resume on the trail again. You, probably by the end of the day, you pass by these double these double rivers here, and there's two nice bridges there, and you're well on your way to Byjoff. So check off another day of healing.
Another day of rations.
So one more day and I heal these 7 points.
So one day, so when that drops down to 0, the wound will become a 6-point wound, and then that will heal in. It normally would be 6 days, but you have lessons here who can do first aid on you, and so it'll lower it down to a 6-point wound that heals in 5 days.
Okay.
And if you had fast healing, then that would take off another day automatically. So,
Okay.
so you guys rest again, and the next day you guys trek, and by late afternoon, maybe beginning of evening, you guys have reached the town of Byjoff. And so here is the little town map that I have. The town of Byjoff. But you've arrived in the town of Byjoff.
All right.
What would you like to do?
Good question. I suppose first things first, let's try to see if we can find a place to stay while we're here.
Yeah, so you guys start going in, and are you looking particularly for an inn, or are you looking for just anyone to take you in?
I suppose an inn would be good. So I suppose, is there one in town? That'd make it the
There-
easiest thing to do.
There is. Let me check. There is not an inn in this town, unfortunately. So you guys go in and you start kind of walking down the roads and looking around, and there's no sign of any inn or any homestead that seems to be offering that services. At least like from the streets, you don't see that.
Okay. I guess we could just talk around then. Get a feeling for the town. Maybe ask some people who are on the streets a few questions, like, is there actually one or some place with hospitality, and see how far we get. And maybe
Yeah,
also get an
roll.
idea of like what's happening around here.
Yeah, roll a glean information check.
I'm great at this, guys. I'm the best. Look at that.
So
Anyone got a better chance
unfortunately,
at that?
yeah, that is a fumble. So since you rolled that the 96 to 100 chance, And so you're going around and you're asking questions, and unfortunately, it does seem to be chasing people off. It rather seems to be driving people away. You start leading with, "Hey, me and my two half-orc and hobgoblin friends are looking for a place to stay," and people are a little. You guys are all, you're a little muddy, a little dirty from being on the trail for so long, and you're looking just a little rough, and folks are turning their back to you. Boy, look at the time. It's rather late, isn't it? And run along, kids. And they're kind of ushering folks away from you guys.
That doesn't seem to be
It's
working.
that scene in Lord of the Rings before the ring wraiths ride up and kill this guy.
Yep.
Well, at least there's a couple places we can try to set up a tent somewhere. I guess, well, with that, I'm not exactly going to get good information from the people here about, things they probably don't want to speak about either. So where does that leave us then?
Where does it leave it for information that you've gathered?
Well, I mean, I'm asking this to
You're
like the
asking the group.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could always just head off blindly after a bit of rest, or what do you think?
The farther away I'm from here, the better.
So I suppose we won't stay too long in town then. Didn't exactly get a warm welcome. What a shame. I guess I did go through town. Was there anything of note in town here? I suppose we have the manor up there, but I don't think we're gonna knock on the door and say like, "Hey, can we go investigate your cemetery?"
Yep. Yeah, that looks like a manor compound right there with the kind of somewhat walled in area. Let's see. There's a large grouping of large barns up here that look interesting, but maybe not necessarily of note.
Mhm.
There does look like in the very center, this building here does look like it was maybe at some point a building of religious significance, but at this point, all it looks like is a burned out husk of a building. Uh, let's see. Aside from that, you're not seeing anybody of anything interesting in this town. This doesn't. I mean, they appear to have a miller. You do notice a mill,
Mhm.
but it doesn't seem like you're not noticing anything like, oh my goodness, amazing. So nothing standing out.
Right. I guess from here, we could try searching the general area first. If I recall, the last two times we went out to the sort of places we're looking for, we had to walk at least an hour away from town. There
Yeah.
was usually a path, but depreciated.
Mhm.
Um. So I suppose we could try looking for that, everybody. Maybe it's not too far off from here, or maybe it's further down the road where I suspected it is on the map. Does someone have the ability to track this?
I could try.
Okay.
So if we're going out of the town and back to kind of the near area, you're gonna try to do some. So if we shift down here, you're gonna try to do some tracking to try to figure out if there are any paths leaving this town.
Yeah,
It is. I did mention it is starting to get late. Would you still like to do that tonight, or would you like to wait until the morning?
we should do it in the morning.
All right. Well, I have my tent. We'll go set it up somewhere. I think on the other map there was like this tiny little place slightly off in the woods that had like this little area next to the river.
Yeah, there's
This
a
one
little
right
wooded
here.
area. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just have like a nice little campsite right here.
Yeah,
Can you
so
ping it?
you can slip in and set up a nice spot right there and camp away. Yeah, you do get some kind of some interesting looks from the few folks that are they're standing on their porch and we're kind of like watching you suspiciously, but no one seems to bother you or stop you from going into those woods and camping.
Hmm.
That night, it gets by just fine. No one seems to interrupt you. Everyone can add one more day of healing.
And I think I'll go ahead and spend money on actual food. So this way I don't dip
Oh.
into rations more.
So you head off into town, and while people aren't really receptive to you staying there, they certainly will let you buy your food, buy food off them.
Uh, gosh, now I've already lost
So
track of like
question.
where that was.
Yeah. What's your
Every
question?
every day is it 2 days if you're a fast healer?
No, it's still one day. It's
Okay,
just
it's just when
every
it
time.
turns over at 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Question. How
Yeah.
quickly do rations go out? Or
One a day.
got you.
Okay, yeah, so it is just a copper. So, boop. Yeah, spending a copper, eating here today, saving a ration for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Alright.
that too.
And so it's the next morning, and you guys are going to look for tracks or paths leading away or outside of this village that maybe after about an hour they start to fall away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I get if is everyone searching? Then if everyone's searching, can I get some tracking checks from everyone?
Yep.
Oh, I actually rolled
It's
kind of
not
okay.
opposed, Elka.
Sorry.
Random note. We had that human-sized armor, and I can't help but notice we actually have a human with us today.
This is also true.
Maybe Elka would like to wear that.
Armor. I would wear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of armor was it,
What
Eric?
do I have currently?
It was that scale mail.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
And you can layer armor, I believe, right?
I've got studded leather right now.
Cool. Put some scale over your studded leather and be just immensely
Sick.
protected. Yeah.
I don't believe you can layer armor.
Really?
You might be remembering Eclipse Phase when we played that you could layer armor.
I think scale mail is
Maybe.
better though.
And then if the armor bonus was above your somatics, then you'd got a penalty.
Mhm.
But scale mail would be better than leather if that's what you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the book? Lynn?
I'm opening up a PDF right now.
All right, yeah. If you can just make those changes on your old character sheet
Yeah.
under the armor section. So you guys are all looking around and trying to find tracks. You certainly find several tracks leading outside the village. I mean, there's you know the road that you came in on. You know the road that left. You guys do find, if we're looking at this village, you do see. I mean, you guys can see some tracks leading off in various directions. Some of them lead very shortly into the river. And there does appear to be tracks leading off into the hills, and one of them does appear to follow the river, but you're not very sure if these tracks look the same as the tracks you guys were following to the other burial sites.
They don't seem like they're oddly disused and all of that, of course.
Yeah, some of them they just look like a lot of game trails or trails that other folks might use, but none of them are overused. So if there is a burial site out there nearby, Joff, um, maybe they don't maintain it as well. So maybe there's less foot traffic.
There is, of course, the burnt-out building in the center of town, but I'm sure that would probably draw some suspicion. If we just go
It
stomping
didn't
around in
look
it.
it didn't look freshly burnt down. It looks like it's been burnt down for a long time, and just hasn't been
Right.
touched.
Mm-hmm. But I feel we would definitely make them a little bit irritable if we poked around in it.
Why don't we sneak around it?
Well, I suppose that's a possibility.
Who's good at
Uh,
sneaking around it?
I'm
Maybe
going to
somebody
whistle
can research
innocently
it.
to that question.
Probably not me.
So yeah, I guess that would be on me to just go and check it out. So
All right.
So Eli, I'll go ahead. I'll try to get up there without drawing much attention and try to check it out. I have
Okay.
sneaking.
All right. You're gonna sneak up and you're doing this in the day. You're gonna try to sneak up to this old burnt out building.
Well, I wouldn't be able to see anything at night. Would be the other problem.
That's the danger there.
But I mean, I can definitely watch to see if people are busy, where people are on the roads, and like come from different angles and do stuff like that. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Make a sneaking check. You're
Okay.
you're fairly sneaky as you kind of make your way around and scope out this burnt building in the very center. Um, you can get up all the way to the edge of it. It looks like it was, it's got an old stone base and then or foundation and then some mainly burned timbers that remain alongside the walls.
Mm-hmm. Does it look like there's a way in? I would assume like the door frames are probably just burnt down.
Yeah, the door frames are burnt down, but there's certainly enough holes in the side that you could crawl in or make your way into the burnt building.
All right, I'll slip in.
Right. What are you looking for?
I suppose I'm looking to see if any sort of writing may have survived.
Okay.
So this might be things that might like represent like local areas, local myths, things like that. This is clearly a church, so maybe there's something still here. Maybe someone etched it into stone.
Yeah, roll a scrutiny check.
Do scrutiny. Oh.
All right, so you're scouring through the building and you look under what remains and you even try to like wipe away at some of the moss and greenery that's growing on the inside of some of these stones, and there doesn't appear to be much that survived. You're seeing that it looks like either before it was burned or maybe after that whoever was here, it looks like they took picks or even weapons to some of the walls and to further deface it.
Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, I don't think there's any further action I can take here. I searched the place, I didn't find anything. That seems like it. Unless there's anything like obvious and visibly noticeable that's like very interesting to see here.
Uh, doesn't look like it.
Okay. Well, I suppose I'll go ahead and slip back out after poking around for a little bit, and I'll return to the party.
Okay.
Is it a
Uh,
house or like a manor or
A former church.
A former
former
church.
church?
Well, I suppose as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem as if perhaps it's in the area. We could always spend a day here following those trails, seeing if they're only game trails, or we could just move along. Those seem to be our options.
Those are certainly options.
What do you all think?
I say we move on.
Is there
Okay.
a local Is there a local tavern? I mean, this is Baijoff, right?
Yes.
Is there a
this
local
is the
tavern?
town of Bajov.
I could try to work my charisma on these people.
You could. Talking to them would help.
Yeah, there wasn't any local tavern.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm sure you're bound to have better success than I have.
That's true. I'm looking. I guess.
What would you like to do there,
Uh,
Elka?
I would like to go. I guess. Try to talk to people. See if someone will
just
talk.
commoners.
Yeah.
All right. What are you asking about, or just anything?
Should I ask about the church, or what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Well, asking about anything directly is either A, bound to draw suspicion because, of course, they're superstitious people, or B, make them suspicious because you're asking about going to places that they don't want to go to. So you do want to be subtle about any kind of questions.
Yeah.
So you might want to just ask, like, hey, where do all these trails go?
All right.
And maybe they'll let it slip that, and it passes by the old graveyard, but we don't go there no more.
Okay. So I'll go up to the commoners and ask about the trails.
All right. Roll a glean information check.
That is quite low.
All right, so it's an easy check. It's not within the average. So you're asking some questions, and that's the road down to, that's the road that'll take you down to Akak, and that'll take you back down to Fafen. Yeah, those are just good, just some nice hiking trails around Bajov. But be careful though. Those mountains can be dangerous. My Gralla's wife told me that he saw a strange looking, mean looking dwarf on the other side of the river when he was out fishing. So be careful if you're hiking there. It's dangerous.
A mean-looking dwarf.
Yeah, well, dwarfs.
Yeah, they all look mean. All right. So
That's interesting. Maybe we could try to find that person.
go up towards the mountains, I guess.
I'm curious about this dwarf. Maybe they've been to the mountains that we're interested in going to and might have some information.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like a local.
it doesn't. It sounds like a lone wolf.
So I guess if they mention the dwarf and across the river and we have a general idea of where they are, we could head that way.
Start crossing the river.
Yeah, is there a bridge around, Eli?
Yeah, this river isn't too. There's a few spots. I mean, mainly there's fishing spots that you can travel to, but they've got, especially near the village, they've got some spots that are easily fordable, that you could cross. Bajov particularly has a. Although this map doesn't show it, but the road goes through through Bajov, and so they do have a bridge to go over the river that Bajov sits on.
Okay, there we go. So I suppose we're hunting dwarf.
You're hunting dwarf. So your plan is to go across the river and search for a dwarf?
Yeah, we need your tracking skill.
Okay. So you guys fanning out? Are you sticking together? Or are you just combing the side of the river? How are you going to start looking for this dwarf?
I think we're probably going to. Good question. I don't know. I don't have a good sound strategy in my mind. Just start talking.
Should we look
I
at
think
the
we just
other
walk.
dwarf?
Yeah.
You know, on the other side of the bank of the river. This dwarf is by themselves. They're probably hunting and look for.
Yeah, probably out hunting.
Gather.
So, can I get a tracking check
Wait a minute.
from anyone who's searching for this dwarf? All right. So you guys, it's mainly Werlin and Elka. Is that what I'm hearing? Is anyone else going with the two of you to track
Oh, I
this
am.
dwarf?
I did a tracking check.
Oh,
Yeah, I did one.
oh, and also did Orbital Cal. I can read. So you guys are you're all looking. You're beginning to comb through the woods, and for the first hour or two, there's not much success as you're going up and down, and then you start getting farther and farther away from Bijov, and you're going along, and Eric, you notice a set of deep tracks in what it looks like heavy boots alongside the edge of the river.
Hey, I got some heavy boot tracks over here. They lead up this way.
Oh, lone solitary dwarf. That sounds like it matches.
Let's go then.
Yeah, I guess we'll follow them.
Okay.
All right, so you're following these tracks and moving along this path, and you're moving farther. Let me take you guys back to the local map. So you guys are traveling farther west, the kind of southwest, and you're getting, or well, I guess it'd be more southwest. So you're starting to get up into those hills on the other side of the forest, or on the other side of the river there, and you're winding around these tracks. You're following them, and they seem to just kind of plod along until they get up into these hills, and you're moving through, and it drops down into a small valley with nice trees, and uh, you're looking down, it looks like there's a small campfire in a little bit of a clearing, and it's gently smoking. You can see what looks like a weird assortment of equipment like splayed out, what looks like maybe a backpack and several wine skins splayed around.
But it doesn't seem like the dwarf is here.
You don't see any dwarf.
This campsite, if possible.
I'll go ahead and call out hello. And I'll go ahead and do that in, I suppose, the local language, Deji. That seems like the best hit.
And you call out, and there's no answer.
I'll go ahead and approach the campsite.
All right, is everyone moving forward?
Yeah, I'll approach it too.
Yep.
I'll stay on the tree line.
All right, so let's shift over to let's go to this map. I have it ready.
Yeah.
Just back on this old bandit ambush site. Campfire.
Just
And
rotated 90 degrees. It'll look new.
it's totally new, completely different. I'm actually gonna toss the campfire. We'll toss it right here. Oh,
We
that
got
is a huge
the scenery
campfire.
budget of a 1960s Star Trek.
So you guys are descending down this path towards. Actually, we'll drop it. This looks like a nicer campfire over campsite in the top corner right here.
I'm huge.
Ah, remember how to pull out your token?
I enter the cave.
I don't remember how to. And I'm gone.
Boop.
There you go.
If you just pull out the name. Yeah, so you guys are
Oh,
descending
pull out the
down this
name.
path. Yeah, pull out the
Okay.
name. Yeah, so you guys are proceeding down, down this little path, and there's the campfire around here. So, Werlin, if you'd like to approach the campfire, feel free to.
Okay. I'll probably start just approaching down the path here.
So you get a little bit farther down the path, and you're just about here, entering the campsite, and make an observation check.
Okay, let's do it. Observation. Something I'm good at. Hey, and I roll really well.
So you get you're getting really close, and it's the scene around this campsite is insane. You're noticing there's scraps of food. Just it looks like whoever ate here was just ravaging into this food all around. And there's the wineskins that are laying around or look like they're slightly open. You see spots where there's spills. It looks like whoever is here was a complete glutton.
I'm afraid our dwarf has turned into a pack of raccoons.
And you hear I ain't no dwarf, Calabunga! And I need you to roll. Let's see. And you hear that, and you look up, and you see inside this little tree here is a rather unusual fellow. He looks like a dwarf, except at least in the face, he's got a large yellowish red beard that grows out from under his hat, and you can see a large nose, but uh his arms and legs are somewhat thinner. He's just wearing a scrappy little loincloth. You see in one hand he's dangling a thick wineskin, which he takes a drink from. In the other, he's got some sort of a short spear. And you see both of his feet are covered in thick iron shoes, which look like they have long spikes on it. And as was brought up by Karamikos, he did say Cowabunga, because as you look up, you see him jumping from the tree. I need you to roll a D8 for defense, as we are starting combat.
I will hit the D8. Roll 2. And I'll also hit initiative once you tell us what the die is.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be on initiative 3.
Ooh,
because
okay.
on initiative 1, this creature is attacking. And so because you're attacked, it's going to, whatever you roll, you could roll whatever for initiative.
Yeah, we'll just modify it down.
Yep. Everyone else, if you could roll D12s for initiative, unless you have some sort of improvement.
Where do I put that?
So if you on your character sheet, under saving throws, under quick references is the second one. And then there'd be observation, listening, and then initiative. There's a green number, and then on the right there's a drop down. And then make sure to click on your character before you do it.
As always, amazing roll, opposite side of the map. I really handicapped myself.
Really, just don't want to be up here.
No, I want to
You
survive.
could just be like over here, this like general area.
No, I started in the cave. I'm safe in the cave.
I'm safe in the cave. There's nothing in caves ever.
Hey,
You
I just
have
want
a
to throw
portable
out
cave.
the majority of the times we die, it's in fights. I
That
think
It
you'll
is.
find.
that is true. That is
Name one of our characters that died in their sleep.
That's true.
So there's an interesting thing here. So he is dropping from 20 feet up, and so he has a -6 to his attack roll because he's considered a dropped object as he falls on you. So this attack roll is going to have a -6 to it.
All right. Well, I rolled a 2.
Actually,
It'd be hilarious. He just like drops 20 feet, breaks his legs, and counter over.
here I'll just roll with his net bonus because I don't have I don't think I've statted him out for the range attacks. I can't remember. He gets a 17.
Ouch.
Nice.
So
Bigger
he
than 2.
yeah, so he drops down from the let me double check how to do this guy. He drops down from the tree and lands on you with his spiked boots. And let's see, his shoes count as being solid objects regardless of uh, what you are, and so you will take. Oh, he's considered. Oh, he's real heavy. He's 90 pounds, and so he's going to do.
Incoming 30 points of
two.
damage.
He's going to do. It looks like 1d12 plus 2 points of damage.
Wow.
Oof.
That could kill you in one hit.
So for 8 points
Almost.
of damage.
Yeah, almost.
Yikes.
Here we go. Add.
Big
What are we
eyes.
gonna put that up to?
He doesn't
8.
threshold of pain yet, does he?
Totally does.
Oh
My
man.
threshold of pain is 4.
Oh.
So I guess we'll roll a d20 here.
Yes.
5 versus 4.
All right, so that would be you're going to be down. So you act on second 3, but then I guess this would be second 1 that your threshold of pained on, and so on second 1 you're then threshold of pained, and so since you failed by 1, you're down for 5 seconds. It's the number you failed by times 5.
So I'll end up like it's second 6.
At second 6 exactly. Is everyone on the initiative tracker? We got Werlin, Eric, Karamikos, Orbal, Kel, Elka. Did you roll initiative? You did. You have to make sure to click on your character token first.
Oh.
I can add you to the initiative tracker. That's totally fine. But just letting you know
All right.
what's going on. So on second 1, this creature jumps down and lands on you with his iron shoes, and he looks up and he squeals, "Ha ha! Delightful!" And he takes a pull from the flask at his side, and that's going to delay him a few seconds. And we get second 2. Karamikos, you hear commotion going on as you hear Werlin cry out in pain and Cowabunga!
Yeah, I let out a hearty laugh. And then delay until I decide to do something. So I'll just delay for 10 seconds for right now. Unless I decide to intervene. Because this is more funny than it is deadly to me.
Okay.
If it turns out the opposite, I apologize. But for now, I'm just laughing at you.
The creature is actually laughing too. He's drinking and it's spilling on his chest, and he's laughing quite. He's really laughing.
More on foot to
He's enjoying
face.
it.
Quite humorous.
All right. Next up is second 3, second 4. And are you just going to wait back there, Karamikos, or I saw you delayed to second 12? You're just waiting?
Yeah, no, I said I'm just waiting until
Okay.
Till further notice. This is just funny. I'm laughing.
This guy laughs more, and you see him take off his hat, and Karamikos, you're laying on the or not Karamikos, Whirlin, you're laying on the ground, and you're bleeding, and this creature takes off his hat, and you can see he's got a quite magnificent beard. He's got a quite glaring bald spot on the very top of his head. It's, as my father would probably say, it's all migrated down. And he leans down and he starts dabbing his red hat in the kind of in your bleeding wound, and he doffs it back on, and that's what he's doing in these few seconds. And we get second 5, second 6, and this creature is going to, what will it do now? It's going to step over. It's going to take a quick little hop over to right here, and it'll go hello, and it will stab you very aggressively, Eric. What is your
He's got
your
quite a
initiative?
reach then.
It does. It's got a little short spear on it, so he can get a big old jab on you.